Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, the place where gravity and mass meet friction and the ramps decide the results. I'm Strick. Thanks for joining me for another, round of fun with these 164 diecast happiness. Today, guess what? We got the new three more brands entering the lab. I know you can't see, but I'll do the breakups here in a minute. These are the German brands. So we've got Schuco. We've got Minichamps. This one I've been waiting to get my hands on. And then two from Siku. There we go. All right. But before we continue, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and like, the usual stuff that we have to ask, right? Hopefully to get you to continue to engage. And, you want to know why? Because I have 30 brands across 9 countries in the hopper, some that we've already reviewed or tested partial way through, and a whole bunch. You know what? I'm going to just show you in case you haven't seen any of the other videos. Check this out. This is the queue. Okay? You don't want to miss out on this 164 scale diecast happiness. So now while I readjust this back, I'm going to continue. Now I'm going to do this one more time because it's just going to be one of those, moments, right? We've done a few giveaways so far, a couple of Easter eggs. I had a giveaway at 66 subscribers. I had a giveaway at 70, but our next giveaway, it's a stretch goal, and that's fine. I'm fine doing the slow burn here. The slow build is going to be, when we hit 300, this beautiful Mercedes 300 SL from the Elite 64 line, okay, of Hot Wheels. You don't want to miss out on that. We've got, let's see, in the lab, here we go. Now, what I'm going to start doing is providing a little more background because, everybody knows Hot Wheels and everybody knows Matchbox. They're under Mattel, but Hot Wheels is based in the US, Matchbox, England. Some of these other brands that I've already talked about, I've provided kind of their country of origin, even if they're made other places, because of all these cars typically are. We still have kind of their origin of where their base or their headquarters is, okay? So with these, the last video had cars, when we had our first round of cars from Japan. Those were 3 brands. We had 4 cars across those. So hopefully you'll check that video out. Today is about Germany. Now, Schuco. I was able to find one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a little bit of, I got my notes up here, so I'm going to read a little bit in case, for folks who are interested, because, it's fun to race the cars, run the ramps, do all these really cool things with the different tracks and track systems. But I know there are some real collectors out there who may want to know a bit more about this 164 scale die-cast community, products, etc. When it comes to at least the vehicles. So, Schuco, historic German brand, which I mentioned, known for producing true-to-scale 164 die-cast models. So now they frequently are focusing on European classics. This particular car, the Rally Monte Carlo Limited, this is a special edition limited run. Now, I'm going to do all the unboxings for these before we put these on the short form drag strip. The entry point for the lab, where they get to do 20 warm-up runs to get seated, warmed up, all that stuff, and then we do 10 official laps. This is the BMW 2002 Rally Monte Carlo from the Rally Monte Carlo from 1968. Again, I'm going to do the unboxing in a little bit. Let's see, what else do we have about this vehicle? It says this typically ranges from 10 to 20 bucks. I paid $22.99 from Amazon before tax. So I've provided some of the pricing on these cars on and off. It's been sort of back and forth, but now that we're getting into all these different brands from these different countries, and I'm trying to find some brands that are, I still love the Hot Wheels cars, the $1 and $2 cars that are coming up, but there are some really well-made, highly collectible, high-quality brands out there. So I want to give folks an idea for what the costs are before you see how well these cars run. Keeping in mind, some people just want to have the cars just as a display, which is great, right? You want to appreciate the art form, you want to appreciate the car, the model, the whatever. Some people want to run these on their tracks and kind of do really fun things with them, okay? So I keep saying so. So and okay. Those are my filler, some of my filler words. Now, brand quality. Typically, this says we got metal bodies and chassis with realistic rubber tires, which, you know, we'll find, you know, I always do the testing when we do the unboxing. Now, typically includes separate plastic or jeweled headlamps and tail lamps rather than painted on blocks. That's interesting. Most models do not feature opening parts and are secured to their base via small screws. So this looks like this may be one of those, of course. Now I do have the little handy dandy screwdriver here. So that is the Schuco. Next up, now this is a brand I've been really looking forward to getting my hands on the track. This is Minichamps, because it just, when this came in, I'm like, wow. I was super stoked. Now, I did shoot a video from Kaido House. I wasn't expecting anything, but once I felt the box of those cars and the artwork, just, it was amazing. And I opened those up and I was blown away and I was super surprised. I love that brand, that Kaido House brand. This one also, but I could see what I was kind of, you know, I could see what was going to be coming, which helped, but I'm still excited about it. And can't wait to try this bad boy out. So Minichamps, the Minichamp 64. So it's, again, a German brand. Now, this company was founded in 1990 and produces highly detailed 1/64 scale road and race cars, generally between 25 and 45 bucks. I paid $24.99 Amazon. Okay. Now, with Amazon, the picture did not do this thing justice, because here you can see, like with the box, you can see the detail already. The Amazon pic from the folks from the company who posted it really made it look just sort of like, but it looks really nice here in person. Core features, obviously scale and build, packaging. We've got the, you know, the acrylic cover. I'm tapping on it, you can't see, right? A lot of these higher end cars have these acrylic covers that you can keep them in for display. They're also renowned for precise motorsport liveries. So that's why this looks so detailed. I'm looking forward to the unboxing because I can see some of the details in here that, even with indentations, not just the artwork, but the actual, I don't know, the way the car was built and the way it was crafted looks amazing already. Now, apparently the reception, the opinions for collectors has been mixed regarding the overall pricing strategy across different scales, but the 164, which is what we do here at this channel, is 164 for motorsport and modern GT releases, receive praise for clean decals and realistic shelf appeal, which I can just see in the box already. All right, so that's Minichamps. Looking forward to that one next. Then we have, now I have two cars from Siku. Okay. These already feel kind of heavy. Like, packaging doesn't look like much, not as fancy looking. And once again, on Amazon, whoever posted these really didn't do these cars justice, because I mean, these do look pretty slick. Siku is the German maker known for durable die-cast vehicles. These things do feel pretty good, and it looks like on one of these the doors might open. These are two Aston Martins, two different models of Aston Martins. Let's see. While many people look for a standard 1/64 scale, Siku's primary Super Series blistered pack cars actually scale around 155. Again, I got these because they're 1/64. That's what we do here in the lab. So, farm prices. Oh, they also do cars, trucks, and farm equipment. Prices usually range between $9 and $18. I paid just under 10 for both of these. The GT4, I paid $9.30. For the DBS was $9.99. Again, this is all before taxes. And this is from Amazon, okay? I always keep everything as transparent, so you know where I'm coming from. I don't ever want to shine anybody on or give any kind of knowingly give false information. This is what it is. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Nobody's paying me to advertise for them. You know, as you can see, I've got, 75 subscribers. It's not like I have 75,000, but it wouldn't matter anyway, because I want to keep everything for real, 100%, all of that stuff here in the lab. Otherwise, what's the point, right? We're doing this for performance. We want to know the reality of how these cars are performing, what their costs are, how well they're made, and how they feel that they're made, what they feel like when they come out of the package. Because as I've talked about in previous videos, I've had some some higher end cars that come out and they're like, oh, little squirrely. You know, we got some bends, we have some, they don't perform as well. They may look great and the art is great. So again, what is the purpose? Are you collecting for a look? You collecting because of a particular model number, or some model number, a particular make and model? Or are you collecting because you want to run these cars on tracks? You know, who knows? It doesn't matter. As what matters is, you know, what you're getting, or at least, you know, you can get a range of what you're expecting when you spend your money. Okay. So now Siku, let's see if we got any more. Scale nuance. Siku models often vary by length to fit uniform blister packs, box sizes, meaning smaller cars run closer to 155, while larger trucks and farm models scale differently. So that's interesting as well. Made of heavy die-cast metal combined with robust plastic parts and rubberized tires. So I'm thinking these are all going to be in the rubber tire category. We know these run a little bit slower, but that's okay because that's why they have their own category. And many models feature functional parts like opening doors, detachable trailers, or specialized hitch mechanisms. Now, that said, like I said, I can already see it. This looks like doors that would open on the DBS, the GT4. I'm not sure, but you know what? We'll find out here in a minute when we do the unboxing, right? You guys ready? Sit tight. Let's get to it right now. Boom. So I've got these lined up in the order that we talked about them. So here we go. Siku's are in the back. Okay. So we'll do these one at a time. Let's go with, I'm going to move these out. I don't know where my box cutter is. So I grabbed a pair of scissors just in case. So this looks like this will be a nice and easy opening. Well, actually, first let's look at the art here before I just crack this bad boy open. In addition, okay, this looks like a can, right? One of those containers for shipping container. All right, I like this. This makes it easy. The only reason it's got some tension is there's some tape here. So we will remove the packaging. If anybody's interested in the details, I'll do this here for a couple of minutes so folks can read. Scale model, special edition. We got the information on the back. So the BMW 2002 Rally Monte Carlo 1969, just in time for the company's 50th anniversary. And then there's more information there if you want to read it. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. We've got an internal shell here. So this is packaged very well. You know, this is no joke plastic. And then inside the plastic, now this wasn't, oh, look at that. That just popped right out. Let's get this out of the way. So this is the box that it was sitting on. So it looks like I said, a container that it would ship in. And we're gonna toss this to the side, but I always like to open it in case there's any additional info. Nothing. This will get put to the side as well. But, you know, pretty cool. The car. Let's see. First glance. I always like to get a sense for the look and the feel. Feels like it's got some good weight to it. We'll do the turnaround. So again, these are, you know, they like to do these kind of older vintage cars. Oh, I didn't even notice these lights on the front. That's what they were talking about. Look at that. That is very cool. Oh, I love it. So I love a good surprise. There we go. Doing as we go around. Get a good look. This is the top. Yes, I've had a little caffeine. I've had my nitro brew this morning. We've got this is the Peak Speed Lab 164 Morning Edition. So I'm feeling the nitro brew a little bit. And then we have, okay, let's see. Let's see if I can see where this is made. Looks like China. Yes. BMW 2002. But look at this. Now, what I can already see right here, these axles, this is what's happening with some of these brands, is these axles get a little wonky. So, well, yeah. It seems like, it feels like it's moving okay, but you could definitely see both the rear and front axles being a bit wonky. But the art, the metal, it's actually pretty nice. It's a shame that they didn't pay a little more attention to what was underneath, like, because this axles, this could have been something really, really cool, but it is what it is. The rest of the car looks great though, and this was one of my favorite surprises. Check that out. One more look. Okay, enough on that one. Let's get to the one I've been really psyched about. Minichamps. I've talked about it in previous videos. I've been waiting to unbox this one for ever since it arrived in the lab. Now I got to figure. See, this is the problem. I got to be smarter. I need to be smarter than the box. Oh my gosh. Anybody else have those kind of mornings? You got to be smarter than smarter than the inanimate object you're messing with. All right. Now I did not do the once around because yeah, there wasn't really a lot to see here because it was mostly open from the box. But in case anybody wants, there's the information. You know, not bad. It's very Miami Vice-y in colors. You know what I mean? I'm from that, period. And then the box itself. Okay, here we go. See, it's going to have these two screws. I'm going to see if I can open the box because, the whole point is to get these things out and test them in the lab. Now, remember I was talking about the detail? See, check these scoops, these vents, just the way this is made. You've got, and the color, these tires even. I mean, it's like that cross between performance and standard tires, but you can still see a little bit on the wall there, the writing. Porsche 935/19 2000 from 2018. All right, let's see if I've got the right screwdriver. I do, because it's gotta be tested. That's what we always say. The ramp doesn't care where the brands are from, how much the vehicles cost, how beautiful they look. All the ramp cares about is how these cars perform. All right, so usually what's interesting is when I have these vehicles on these platforms, it's usually just one screw, but this one had two, so got to give it up. It's a pretty nice setup. So now what I'm going to do is I need to get rid of this here. So what I typically do, and this is folks who want to keep them, is just put all that stuff on the inside. I'll put the cover on it because I'm not going to leave it in the cover, and then we'll set it aside. All right, so let's get a good feel for this car. On the bottom, we look. Oh, this is pretty light. This feels like a pretty light car. Bottom plastic. Let's see. Rubber tires. Wow, that is. Ooh, okay. This thing, I did a little. This thing might have some hustle to it. We will see, but let's just do the quick back because I don't think when it was on the stand, you couldn't quite see it the way you should have been able to see it. Okay, but check out this. I mean, the hood, the detail on the hood, the roof. I mean, yeah. All right, so that one, that feels like it has, that feels like it might be a contender, but we'll see. The ramp will decide. The next one in line is the GT4 from Siku. This packaging is pretty minimal, as you can see. So let's get on with it, shall we? That just popped right out. All right, no blister pack. This thing feels big already. It's got a little bit of weight to it. We'll do the once around. Vantage. This is the Aston Martin. I like that. Oh, wow. Hello. Nothing wild but the child. Aston Martin, sparkle blue with that white stripe going down the top. We'll take a look at that in a second in closer detail. Check out these rims. Yeah. Another license plate, AMR. So little, and one of the things I'm interested in is how much time designers and these companies take to work to the inside, right? Some of these do pay attention to the inside. This feels plastic and rubber. Interesting that we've got plastic and rubber, but that's okay. Let's see how this thing, these were the lesser expensive cars, but they feel pretty good. Although this doesn't roll as well as this Minichamps car, but I don't know. It still feels pretty good. All right, now let's look at the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Please feel free to roast me in the comments. Okay. Now this says UK, California, but we do know this is a German company. That doesn't mean that they don't have some other things happening. Oh, I didn't even look to see where the other one was made. We'll do that in a second. Let's take a look, shall we? Closer look. Yeah. This is like a light sparkle light blue. I'll turn this around. This got a little bit of weight to it. This was made in, maybe y'all are seeing it before I am. Oh, made in, is that China? Yes, made in China. Okay, so, you know, again, we got a plastic base or chassis, rubber tires. We want to open, this door looks like it opens. Oh, so it does open. You can see in the middle, or in the cockpit area, the cabin. It has this kind of interesting mechanism. It's almost like a, oh, there we go. That one opened a little bit wider. I was afraid. I didn't want to break. I didn't want to break. Take a chance on breaking it. That driver's side, or yeah, the driver's side door, left side in this case, felt a little stiff, but yeah, that opened pretty wide. See how she, yeah. Oh, okay. See this one feels like. Let's try them side by side real quick. Yeah, this one did not have anything that opened. I'm going back to the other Aston Martin. We'll find out where this one was made. I'm going to assume it was made in China because the other one was, and they're usually, yep, there it is, made in China. Okay, enough about that. I think it's time to, we'll get these bad boys lined up. We're going to get them on the, ramp. See how they do. What do you think? Okay. I will be back after I get these measurements in. We are trackside after just weighing in and taking the notes. We got hub to hub and center of gravity measurements done. We do the hub to hub still for the rubber tires, although I don't know that I'm going to continue to do that because not really noticing anything major about that. But that was a kind of last little, maybe to track. We did have a little issue with the Porsche. The rear spoiler broke off. I'm going to show you that here in a second. But I was a little disappointed. Like the car cost about 25 bucks. You expect it to be made really well. I understand it's in its case and it's for display, but at the same time, you know, people are going to want to run these cars on their tracks. That's why you buy the 1/64 scale. So I'm a little disappointed with that. It looks great, but when I look at the Minichamps vehicle versus the Kaido House vehicles, oh my gosh, no comparison. So far, Kaido House, highest quality, color saturation, detail, design. We have a lot more brands to go, but I really thought Minichamps was going to be up at the top. And while it looked great in the case, you know, it sort of fell short in a couple of areas. But we'll see how it does on the track. When it comes down to it, what matters is the performance and the ramps, right? So I don't want to poo-poo on anything, but I will show you all because, like I said, I like to keep things transparent, and we'll still run these cars, okay? And there we go. So I'm going to go right over down there. So I turned the spoiler here, the rear spoiler upside down so you could see it. Otherwise, it would, now that you've seen it, it would face, you know, backwards. But yeah, there's the back. It just popped right off. I couldn't get it back on there, and I'm sure some glue would work or whatever, but even with the little slot in there, it wouldn't stay. It just kind of broke off, but still looks good sitting there. We'll see how it does on the track right up over here. Okay, as all, we are at trackside, short form drag strip. These two Siku cars barely fit in the lanes. I had to adjust because like this one wouldn't fit in the lane. So I like to keep them in the order of how I enter them in the spreadsheet so I don't lose track. I had to actually mix these up to get these two to fit in the correct lanes. So, you know, it is what it is. We're still going to get their results and everything, but it was just surprising. Now that's, you know, the one Kaido House one that we were able to run that fit in the track barely fit too. So we'll see how it impacts their times. As always, I'm going to run the actual first warm-up lap, and then I'll just run the next 19 warm-up laps, and then we'll be back for the 10 official laps. But I always like to run the very first lap just to see how they do, and for you folks to see how they do, okay? Let's see if these cars run well. And scene. Okay, Play Robotics, you're killing me here. This happens pretty regularly with the 6-lane track. So now that's going to do it. Now I got to do this again. So we're going to try this one more time. Hopefully this reset. Let's try it. First attempt for the warm-up lap. Okay. Woo! This is going to be rough. This car may be getting disqualified. This is the Aston Martin. Yeah, this is, well, one of the Aston Martins. This is the Superleggera, the DBS Superleggera, and it really barely fits in the track. So it may be getting DQ'd, but we're still going to give it its warm-ups and see how it fares. All right, we'll be back for the 10 officials in a minute. We just finished up with the rest of the 20 warm-up laps, the 19 that weren't videoed. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty rough. All these cars ran, you know, plus 2 seconds, 2 seconds to higher than 2 seconds. Had a few issues here and there with the Play Robotic starting gate, just not setting off. So I've had to do a little bit of work on that, but at least the timing system is working well. So that's good. And we got through it, but wow, that was a little bit of it took a little bit of extra time, more so than normal. So, you know, I'm not saying that the world-renowned German engineering for autos just are always amazing, really translated to the 1/64 scale, because so far it's tough, right? The 2 from Siku, the DBS, the Aston Martin DBS, once it kind of got warmed up, it is making it to the gate, but it's very tight. And the GT, I think it's the GT4, is running, but it is snug in the track, so there's really no room for any kind of swimming or you know, these cars are dealing with a lot of friction. But the other two, all rubber tires still. The Minichamps is running fine, and the Schuco is running fine. It's the smallest one, even though it's got a lot of swimming because of the axles. But it was, I got to be honest, it was a little rough. So here we go with the 10 official laps. The cars still look cool. They still look great. So while these may not be contenders for any sort of track runs, races, that kind of thing, they will look awesome sitting up. Well, the Porsche is a little disappointing because of that broken spoiler, but they still will look nice just kind of sitting up in a display case. But since they all are making it through, as long as there's no DQ, disqualification, they will still get to go through the rest of the testing, right? Because you just never know how they're going to do on other tracks. So before further ado, which I've adoed already, so let's get back to trackside. 10 official laps starting right now. Boom! Lap 1 of the official 10 about to be in the books. Yeah, you see this, you know, this Aston Martin snug in the track, but it's making it through the gate. All right, 9 more official laps to go. Before we run the next lap, here we go. The Minichamps. Look at this. The side view mirror just popped right off. So now that's the spoiler, the side view mirror. I got to tell you, for 25 bucks, I'm a car that a brand I was really excited about. This may be the only car I was gonna, I'd like to give all these brands at least a couple of cars to try, but I don't know. After kind of experiencing what I'm experiencing with this particular brand, this may be it for the lab for the Minichamps. We'll see how the rest of the other 9 laps go, though. Lap 2. The lap doesn't the ramp doesn't care if a car is falling apart. So that Minichamps, oh. If it was running really fast, it'd have some redeeming qualities, but it's pretty slow, even for a rubber tired car. So we'll be right back with lap number 3. Lap number 3, about to come at you as soon as I hold the controller correctly in my hand. Yeah, well, this car is still hitting it, so it's going to have a score. It's still going to get a part of a composite score. On to lap 4. Lap 4, about to be in the books. See what I mean about these times? That's the fastest time is 2.11. Slow batch. We got lap 5 from the other side, dark side of the moon, actually. Yeah, here we go. There's a little bit of what the queue looks like. That is no joke. I'm not sure what I've got myself into, but hey, it's fun. But we got to get through all these cars, I think, before I add anything else, unless I find a new brands that I want to bring into the lab. But right now, got to get through this queue first. Okay, back to lap 5. Here we go. From the other side. All right. Lap 6 is next. Let's see what lucky number 7 does for us. Here we go. Before we move on to lap 8, here is the giveaway pile. I have this extra Minichamp there. Maybe it'll be better. Got some others here for future giveaways that I'm going to run as the channel continues to grow. Got see a little red line action. I got some specialty vehicles, but want to get this channel to continue to do its thing. This one right here looks great in the case, doesn't it? It's like these Greenlight Hollywoods. They look great in the case as displays. All right, let's get back to it. All right, as we used to say in the bowling league, we are on Snowman, which is slang for I scored an 8. Lap 8 in the books. Yeah, 2:15 is the fastest. So slow this batch. All right, lap 9 coming up. Lap 9er. Here we roll. The gravity-fed ramp doing its thing. 2:05, still no sub 2 minutes. And as I mentioned in other videos, I think the quickest we could probably get on here is like 1.4, so nothing close yet. Anybody recognize that vehicle? Huh? Or this one? Yes, sirree, Bob. If you know, you know. You gotta know if you don't know. All right, on to the last lap. Final lap, lap 10, official lap for the short form drag strip. About to happen right now. All right, we're going to collect the data here, get it all organized. I'll be back with averages. And of course, we're still going to do lighted spinning pedestal for their moments of glory because they still deserve it, even if they didn't perform that well, because we still want to respect the cars, the makers, the artists, the craftspeople, etc., etc. So meet me over this direction. I will be over there in a minute. Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, the place where gravity, mass meet friction, and the ramps decide the results. Woo! This was a rough one, as I said a minute ago. These cars were very slow. Now, part of the issue, rubber tires, we know that's going to be slow, but one of the issue with the Siku brand barely fit in the lanes. So I know that had an issue. Again, gravity and mass meet friction. A lot more friction on those two cars. But the other two cars didn't have as much friction, still didn't perform as well as I would have hoped. So let's talk about the averages, okay? So with the Schuco, this BMW 2002 model, pretty cool. It is a cool little car. Had a little bit of a swimming lane because, as you see, the axles are a little bent, which we noticed with some of these cars, especially these smaller cars with the heavier, thinner wheels. Wheel width, 2.1864 seconds, the average of 10. Next up, the Porsche that has been falling apart during this whole time. But it's like it's a 20 whatever amount it was that I had said. Oh, I have it right here, $24.99, right? So fell apart, but it still ran. It ran okay with an average speed of 2.1086. It was the fastest of the runs today, but rubber tires, I don't know that it's gonna earn it any spot in the top 10. But you know, these cars will still have the 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip to see if they can get a notch up. Okay, so next we have excuse me, we have the Siku brand, which these cars are pretty hefty. This Aston Martin GT4 averaged 2.2543 seconds. That is slow, and again, more friction to deal with. Then the last one, the CQ DPS, this was, I only could find one lane that this thing was able to get down. Okay, and it's heavy too. I mean, these are in the, I think, you know what? Well, let me tell you what the average is first, and I'll tell you what these cars weigh, right? So this was just under 3 seconds, 2.9349 seconds for average of 10 laps. Now, because I keep track of the weight, just to have as an in case, these weights, yeah, this one was at the very top end of the D class, almost in the E class, right? This weighed in at 49.25 grams, so very heavy for this scale. The other car, the GTS, the other Aston Martin, this is the DBS, as I mentioned, right? Then the GT4 weighed in at 43.66 grams. So this was at the lower end, near the middle of the D class. But I think maybe the weight is what helped get this thing down eventually. It's interesting that it took several warm-up laps and then it started at least hitting the gate. So it's still going to be in there. Now, in the future, I've been looking at different track systems. There are track systems from other countries. But I got to get, you saw the massive queue. I got to get through the queue. We got to get through all the test labs. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the future. So that's why I always ask for, if you'd like to subscribe, don't miss out. Like the video so we keep doing this. Well, I'm gonna keep doing it whether you do it or not, but it would be nice to have the subscription, have the subs, and have the likes, because then I know people are really enjoying what we're doing here. So I think that's going to be it. I'm going to put these vehicles on the lighted spinning pedestal for their moment of glory. And yeah, it's another day in the books with the lab. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. I'm Strick with Peak Speed Lab 164. Have a good one. Cheers. quick Easter egg time. The first person who DMs me at our Instagram account, Peak Speed Lab 164, no punctuation, all lowercase, PeakSpeedLab 164, with the 2 parts that fell off the Minichamps Porsche today, right, will receive the new one here in box. Looks great, but you'll receive the new one here in box.